I think me and Raiz are probably in pretty similar like boats. I really enjoy the Blighted map gameplay. Most of the Blighted encounters in maps, I would say like 70% of them are just like complete face roll, and then occasionally you get the fun ones, but that's mostly because of like portal RNG. Because one thing which often happens is it's a case of you'll be like, okay, so you're running like a tier 13, 14, whatever, and you're like, okay, I really want to go in, and like as soon as you start getting like 2 towers to rank 4, the event's over, and you're like, all right, cool.
Pretty much, yeah.
That was fun. Because you don't even get that big payoff of, oh, I've got this now meaty tower. You either have the case of you only build like 2 towers and you build those to rank 4, then you get to enjoy them a bit. But if you actually are building a lot of towers, you don't get that payoff moment of, now I get to enjoy my meteor tower eating enemies for like a minute. It's like you build it and the event's over. I was like, okay.
Yeah. I really like Blighted maps for that. I think they did except the fucking lag. They did a really great job with Blighted maps. I do feel like that's where the fun comes in. But yeah, the lag really kills it for me. But every single Blighted map that I've done, it's always been exciting. Sometimes for the wrong reasons, like a portal suddenly spawning on top of my freaking pump, and I'm just like losing it over there. But yeah, I haven't had a Blighted map that wasn't super fun. And they get pretty sketchy too, especially if it's like an indoor one and there's shit AoEing you down, especially with a summoner, you know.
I think it's because of just the continuous nature, partially at least, because of the continuous nature of enemies coming at you. It's not waves, and you're not strategically building up towers between them. It's just fight things, and you get a phase beforehand to build some.
Yeah. I think
specific thing that you were saying about like having to wait and it's fiddly and all that. I really wish they had made it so when you're selecting a tower, instead of clicking once and then clicking the tower you want, you just click and drag in the direction on like a radial menu of which one you want. One
nice.
motion instead of 2 would be really nice for, selecting new towers.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
It's also been mentioned a lot, but also just like speeding up the animation. There's something really frustrating about, I have like 1,000 resource, I go to click a tower, I wait for like 3 seconds for it to go, and now I press upgrade, and then I can do my thing.
Yes.
There is that slight bit of delay in there. And
I like that. Actually, that's one of the things that I like, because it gives me that like because like it's waves, right, and towers, and I really miss that. So this is the one thing where I feel like I have to make a decision beforehand. Sure, it's still combat, but it's something that you have to do, right? Where I would, if I were to do a Blight map, I would like place a lot of 1 towers, because I know when everything starts going and everything starts lagging, I won't really have an opportunity to do that. So then upgrading is like the easiest thing rather than selecting and whatnot. So that's like the one unintentionally annoying thing that I like.
I agree with that. It feels good in the Blighted maps, but it also feels really rough in the Blighted maps, because I don't know how many Blighted maps you've run. So let's say you have the pump in the middle, then it splits in 4 directions. I don't know why, but the amount of towers you start with seems completely random. Sometimes you can have an entire lane with no towers there, and you're like, I want to build base towers there, but I can't. And then depending on the kind of build you're playing, that can be really frustrating. So I respect from mines to traps, so that it would feel a lot smoother, because then I could like throw my flamethrower traps in one direction, and that buys me the time I can then run around and build things. Where I was really frustrating where I'm having to like throw mines, detonate mines, throw mines, detonate mines, and also manage building towers at the same time. It just felt like a bit too like hectic in that sense. But not hectic in like a I'm being overwhelmed way, but hectic in a too many buttons, kind of what Octavian was saying. Not a case of I don't want to like click on things, but it's a case of it's like having 20 buttons, but someone's tied my hands together. Like, I know what I want to do, but I feel like the game is stopping me from doing what I want to do. How many Blighted maps have you and Nugi had drop?
I think 12 or 15, maybe a little bit more.
What level did you stop playing at?
96, 7-ish.
Yep.
I'd say I'm about in the same camp.
Yeah. It's not that many.
Up until yesterday, I had gotten 14 total, till level 97 as well. And then
Damn.
in the space of my stream yesterday, in my dump tab, I was sorting it before the podcast started. I found like another 7.
Hmm.
And Grimro was mentioning that he was getting a lot more oils and a lot more blighted maps as well recently, like since the last patch. So
Huh.
I don't know. It might have been stealth buffed on their side.
Have any of you found a golden yet?
No.
Oh,
The
No.
highest tier I've had drop is a
Wow.
black oil.
I've dropped a few opalescents.
Oh, I have a silver. Isn't that higher?
Yeah,
Silver
silver's tier
is the
2.
second highest.
It does feel a little bit iffy, the whole... I like the anointment stuff on paper, but it does feel a bit kind of... We've made 40% of the obvious nodes like triple gold or like double gold, and you're like, okay, that's fine. Even like, so for example, when I was playing my minor character for a Spectre Traps, I was like, oh, the one slightly awkward cluster near the ES wheel, I'll anoint that, save like 8 points, this is going to be amazing. But even that was like silvers and stuff, and then you're like,
I think that's fine. I think there's so many other good options if you just look around that you can go for as a stepping
I ended
stone.
up going for good options. It's just I don't know something with that much rarity, with that much cost, when it's not even like when it's niche to a specific build. Like it's not the most powerful node on the tree. It's not like a Soul of Steel, right? It's like a pretty good node for that one specific build. Is going to be like 2 exalts or some shit.
I'm sort of in Nugi's camp here. I agree with you that it feels a bit bad the first time round, but like anointing as a system is the new crafting system that's been introduced with this, and obviously it's not meant to be as robust a crafting system as something like Delve's fossils were. You know, it's not got that many options. You do like a handful of things at best. But it still does have to have some amount of chase and longevity, or else it's just going to feel like an afterthought. And it's really hard to do that while at the same time not accidentally treading in some way on the ability to get a lot of those middling nodes.